Good evening and welcome, fellow Toastmasters. Do you remember the last time you moved house? Stressful, isn't it? I am from Austria and 16 years ago I came to the UK to live with my now husband Graham. And with me came my two cats, Stanislaus and Tobias, or Stani and Toby as they were called. Graham and I had just bought a house with a garden in the UK. Stani and Toby, however, had lived the whole 8 years of their life in an apartment in Vienna. Their view of the world was the view from a third floor. They had never seen a flower bed or felt grass under their paws, or even climbed a tree. Although they were brothers, they were very different characters. Toby was an explorer. He knew there was something else out there. Stani, however, was a self-centered character. There was nothing more important to him than himself. So how would they adapt? How would they respond? Taking them out of their comfort zone was a risk. The journey for me, just a 2-hour flight, was a huge undertaking with the two cats. I wanted them to be with me in the cabin. I was even prepared to buy 3 business class tickets. But that wasn't allowed. They had to go in the hold. I remember I felt awful when I dropped them off the airport with the transport boxes. They were looking at me and meowing when I was walking away. During the flight, I even pestered the stewardess to go to the captain and ask him how the cats were, as if he knew. But she came back smiling, said the cats were on board and everything was fine. At Heathrow, Graham was waiting for us to pick us up. Thank God he didn't change his mind. But more importantly, Stani and Toby had arrived. They were exhausted but unharmed. On our car ride home, I realized how stressful the journey so far for them must have been. Stani was just vacantly looking into the air. He was clearly not getting what was going on around him. Toby, however, was lying in his box. He sat on his front paws, looking at me, and his eyes were saying, "How could you do that to me?" So how did they adapt? Toby, curious as ever, soon started to explore the house, taking possession of his new home. Stani, on the other side, decided to go into hiding for 2 weeks, in a box, in a darkened room. In the following days, Toby was clearly missing Stani. He was exploring the house, looking out of the window into the garden, and excitedly running back and forth to his brother's hideout, meowing as if he was saying, "Come on, get out of here, you must see that." After 2 weeks, Stani eventually came out of his box. One evening, he just walked into our living room, settled next to Toby as if nothing had happened, looking out of the window into the garden. On a warm and sunny day, I finally opened the door to the garden. And there they were sitting in the doorframe, looking, breathing in the fresh air. And very slowly and very hesitantly, one paw in front of the other, they stepped onto the patio, desperately trying to avoid touching this strange grass, just staying on the concrete and on the pebbled areas. But within a couple of days, they were sitting in the green grass, rolling around, rolling on their backs, enjoying the sunshine on their bellies, chasing leaves and developing their hunting skills. Stani, to be honest, never went beyond chasing leaves, but Toby became a very skilled and experienced hunter. It was exciting for me to see the development of those two cats coming from a 3rd floor apartment and becoming free and independent felines. So, was it worth the stress? I think if we could ask them, they would say the last step into freedom and their 9 following years of their life, it was worth it. They had adapted very well to the changes in their lives. They have expanded their horizon by stepping out of their comfort zones. For them, lockdown was over. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.